Hi there, welcome back to my craft room. It's Kathy from Raven Vintage. We are putting the final touches on our vintage lavender junk journal. We have had a lot of fun creating the journal, using a book cover, sewing right through the spine, making signatures, adding pockets, adding lace, a journal topper, a closure. We have had a really good time. So if this is your first time seeing this series, you may want to go back to part 1. This will be part 5, and this will be the final. And we're just doing our final embellishments and adding our tuck cards. And we are going to do a couple of makes here. We're going to make some envelopes. So let's start with that. I'm going to set my journal to the side. Okay, so let's just make a couple of beautiful envelopes for this journal. We want to start with a square. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to do that. I'm sure you know this, so if I don't mean to preach to the choir, but the first way I'm going to make my square is by lining the edge of my paper. Actually, it's probably easier to see this way. I'm just going to line my desk. Line my paper up here, make a corner. Sorry if my head's in there. Up there, and then I know that this is where I will be trimming. That's one way to get my square. So it doesn't matter what size of paper you start with. If you pull your edge up to the other edge like that. That is a quick way to make yourself a square. All right, so get that line out of there. Okay, so this is how I make my envelopes from scratch. So now if you are gifted, and I am going to say gifted, at doing this and getting it centered, good for you. I am not. So this is how I do it. I line up my 2 sides here, and then I pull and make a pinch mark there, and then I turn this a 1/4 turn, and I line up the sides again, and then I pull to the center, make a pinch. Now what I have, I don't know if you can see that, but there is, I'll just write on it so you can see, an X with that pinch crease that I just made, like that. So now I'm going to turn it back this way. I'm making it diamond shape. When I fold this side in, I fold to the X, and this side comes in and meets at the X. That is how I get it straight, because I can't cut a straight line. I can't fold a straight line. I don't know. It's how I was made. So that is how I find my center and make sure that my envelope is not wonky. Okay, there we go. Okay, the next thing I want to do is, let's pretend this is going to be the top. Let me just take a look and see. This is non-directional, it doesn't matter, but check to make sure this is going to be the top. So I'm just going to line my ruler up at that point and that point. There we go. I have a video showing how to make these envelopes, so I can link it below if you like. And then I bring the bottom up, and just moved my paper. I bring the bottom up so that this point is just at the ruler, and then make sure your sides are lining up nicely. That, I'll burnish that there. Then from this point and this point, I'm going to bring that ruler down again. Let's say underneath. And I don't want to score because I don't want to make a mark through through the envelope to the front. So I just basically, if you want to double check, you can make sure that your ruler is squared up to the edge. But at this point and this point, I'm going to fold this back, give myself a little line. And then I'm going to fold that the opposite way on that line. Oops. It should be straight. Sorry, I'm whirling all the way around. And then the top, I'm going to line up my ruler again here and here. Is my top. Burnish that. I'm going to round that corner. Okay, and then back to the bottom here, I'm going to glue this flap down. That. And then I am going to glue here and here, here and here. Like that. Very nice, very nice. That's a pretty envelope. Okay, that's one way to do that. So there's one envelope. Beautiful. So I really wanted to use this. So I want to make this a square. So I think if I cut this edge off, it'll include part of the boat. I'm going to miss the ducks though. Okay. So this is an 11. This is only 6 inches. I think I often think, oh, this isn't wide enough, and I go to my larger trimmer. But if you just flip the math, so if we do 11 minus 8.5, because we want to make an 8.5 square, we can just subtract 8.5 from 11 for 2.5. So we just need to cut off 2.5 inches. Does that make sense? Maybe for you that's like a duh, of course thing. Not for me. I forget about that all the time. So yes, that's that is me. Okay, so if I want this to be the top, oh, it doesn't matter. Let's do our little pinch thing first. I line up my sides, roughly just looking. Nice. Okay, so we've made 2 envelopes. We can make a couple. I just want to make one more smaller envelope. So I have this here. This is an example of when you have a PDF and you want to, and you didn't get a JPEG file, because it depends on the size of my kits. That's why I do it. I'm not going to get into that right now. But if you have a PDF and you want to make it smaller, it's meant to be printed. The orientation is set to landscape. If you want to print your landscape style PDF smaller, simply set your printer setting to portrait mode, and then you get this smaller version of your printable. I'm just going to cut these off. That is a cute little envelope. I like that. So this was using a piece of 6x6. So you end up with a 4 1/4 1/4 inch envelope by just 3 2/16 it looks like. So cute. Okay, so we've made a few envelopes. Another thing I wanted to try, and I was just kind of messing with this and I haven't perfected it yet, but I wanted to show you an idea, and I think there's going to be a way to do this right. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. So this is from the freebie kit. This is the washi strip from the freebie kit. This would also work if you had end cuts. This would be I'm hoping this will, eventually I'll figure out a good way to do this, because it would be a really great way to use our end cuts, I think. What I want to make is tickets. I do not have a punch or die cuts to make tickets. I'm trying to figure out a way to make them from scratch. I have a texture boutique, but I do not have a die cutting machine like the big shot. So this is what I'm thinking. With end cuts, I'm going to use this. This is my thought. I tried my smallest circle punch and it's just too big, but this is what I tried. So I have this folded in half. I'll show you on this side, I guess. And close to the edge, not all the way to the edge, but close to the edge, or just at the edge, and I'm trying to center that. I just made a punch, and then I tried both my pinking shears, and if you don't have those, pinking shears was not bad. I didn't mind the look there, but I prefer this. This is it's the one I use for making postage stamps. So I turned that, and I'm going to try to cut right through the center of that circle, so that I end up with a half circle on the end of the ticket. Like that. Make sense? And then at this end, I guess that's kind of stubby short, isn't it? I should make them a little bit longer. Okay. So there, and cut right through the middle of that. Are these the right way? Yeah. So it looks like a ticket. Okay, cute, but it's too short. So I'm going to fold, I have one end done, and I'm going to make it a little bit longer. And same thing, I'm going to use my punch, just a hole punch close to the end, and try to center that. And then I'm going to cut right through the center of that circle. Now the reason I don't I did try just placing this so that it was half on, half off, but if I mess up the distance, then it's messed up, and then I ended up with a chunk off. So I found it easier just to do the whole circle and then eyeball half with cutting. Okay, that's a better size. I like that. And then this I'm just going to fold in half because that's what I have left. And here, same thing, cut right in half. And then this one, it's the end of the line. It's a little stubby too. Okay, I don't know. What do you think? Do you guys have a trick for making your own tags? Or tickets, I should say. Like, I have the tickets that I made through the string of tickets that I made that are on the freebie, and I've cut those out, and I cut some of them just straight, and then I have some that somewhere that I use those scissors somewhere. Well, there's quite a few taped, or you could leave it as a strip of tickets too. But I thought, okay, so these are cute. And then I thought what we could do is we could stamp them. This is my thought. This was my thought. Anyway, so I have a few stamps here to try. A few things. So what do we have here? New York. Okay. Let's try this New York one. It's like maybe part of the stamp. Like that. I also have, I happen to have this vintage rubber stamp. Air postage paid. Ah. So I thought I could do that on some of them. Postage paid. Kind of cute. Do one on an angle. I have that stamp. So you can see what we ended up with. Those are cute. I like those. Okay, so we've made some envelopes and we've made some tags from scratch. So I wanted to, of course, I wanted to use this, but I thought, well, maybe not everybody has some ephemera packs like this. So I thought, well, let's make a couple things to show that we can. And we're going to also make a couple of flag. I might use green, I might use white. I'm not sure just yet which color I'm going to use. Let's try one of each and see. Okay, this is from the freebie. So it goes aside. So there's these tabs that come with the freebie. There's a bookmark, some tags we're going to use. This is me practicing with the end cuts. I have, it's a larger tag, these. There's a medallion from the freebies. These are left over. I cut these from the rest of the photo paper. Okay, so those will set aside. Tags will set aside. Okay, right now I want to concentrate on these banner flags. Now, if you don't have the freebie, I'll also show you how to make these very simply, just with scraps. This is another great little scrap buster project. I think I'm going to add that one to the list. Okay. So these are really quite simple. Is you just make a little fold, and we can do like 2 and stagger them a little bit. So this one I'll make a smaller fold, so it's a little bit longer. Yep. Okay. So I would take, you have your paper clip and you want like the longest side, so right, and you still want to be able to clip that on to your paper, right? So I'm going to slide this over the longest side of the paper clip. I don't know if that's enough to glue that down or not. We're going to try it. And then using my precision glue bottle, I'm just going to add a bead of glue here. Over top. I made that pretty short. Perhaps should have done that a little bit longer, so it'll stick. There's the first one, and then this is the second one. It's going to slide right through. See, I'm sliding it right through the paper clip like that. So it's just a different height. And then we'll glue that one shut. And it's going to glue onto the back of this one as well, which will help keep that secure or attached. beautiful. Okay, that's really cute. And then I have the green. I think I'll use the purple as the, like the more solid purple as the background. So we'll make it smaller. I'm going to make that a little longer this time. And then I'll make this one even shorter. How's that for size? I like that. All right, let's try the green this time. So again, here's the shorter. I'm talking about the very outside edges of the paper clip. This side, this versus this side. This side ends right here. It's the shorter one. It's the end of the paper clip. So I'm talking about this long side that has no cut or end. So we'll glue that one shut. I love banner flags. One of my favorite things in a journal. And I often forget about them because they add a little touch of whimsy to your journal, but they're also oh, I went the wrong way. Oh, that's okay. This paper clip's going to go on, slide on this way, as opposed to this one sliding on the right. That's perfectly fine. I should have mentioned that. Set your paper clip the direction you want to slide, facing you, that you want to slide onto the page. Well, it's just as well I showed you this way so you can see both. I seem to be a master at that. Showing you mistakes. Okay. There. Okay, so we've made 2 of those. And then I said I will show you with a scrap piece of paper how to do that. So what you can do, let's cut this in half. Okay, so what you can do is match your 2 ends together. Give yourself a little, don't fold it completely shut, but just meet your corners together. And then this is going to be the tip of your banner. So from the corner, make a cut on a diagonal like that. That way your 2 pieces have a matching tail, okay? And then you can do the same thing and attach those to a paper clip. Easy peasy, right? All right, let's get our journal out. And we're going to start adding tags and such to our journals. Now, I haven't put anything in these pockets here yet, but let's try these little tickets and see what they look like. Well, that's kind of cute. I like that. So this could be a little journaling spot. Room just enough for a sweet sentiment. It could go right in here. Oh, I like that. Okay. And then this will need something eventually. Haven't quite decided. I had that butterfly thing in there, but now I'm questioning my life choices here. Let's see. Maybe so. I was just thinking it took up a little bit too much room. So, oh, I kind of like that. All right, let's just make some really teeny tiny rounded corners on this. Smallest of the small that I have. I love how some of you can just round corners like that with your scissors. It's the same thing as trying to cut a straight line. They would end up wonky. I'd end up trying and trying and trying and trying, and then make a mess. Okay, let's do it like this. Perfect. Finito. All right, and then I have my ephemera pack, which I already have one opened up and here, so I'm not gonna open that second pack just yet, but I have these tinies. I'm just gonna put a few out on the desk. Okay, on second thought, I do have this white butterfly and I think that might help with some of pulling some of that color up there. The purple butterfly, on second thoughts, that's in the kit, like this guy here, I thought about cutting it and putting him there. He just might get lost because he's the same color, so I'm going with this one. So, thoughts. What are we going to do next after this journal is finished? What would you guys like to work on? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of comments, I had so many comments in this series. Such a good conversation. I just want to say a very heartfelt thank you to everyone that's watched and shared your thoughts about this Lavender Lane journal video series. It's your encouragement and your kind words that make this series even more special for me. And so for many of you that took the time to mention the little details that you liked, like everything from the journal topper to my inking techniques to how I walk through my mistakes without editing them out, all of that means a lot to know that these real moments help inspire your creative process. And it reminded me to enjoy the imperfections along the way. So I just wanted to, I had made a couple notes, and that's something I wanted to mention. And some of you mentioned that this was the first time you tried a journal topper and that you felt more confident after seeing mine come together with the step-by-step instructions. And that feedback is exactly why I love sharing this craft with all of you. So whether you're like a seasoned junk journaler or just starting out, I'm just very grateful to have you along for the ride here. So your continued support and your thoughtful questions and your creative energy actually keeps this community vibrant and interesting, and I just can't wait to keep making more content and videos and tutorials with you. So I just wanted to say that special thank you for those of you that take the time to leave comments, and sometimes it's just a heart or something, so thank you for the love. Thank you very much. I have a whole bunch of people to say hello to. There's so many in this series, so I will do that soon in this video. I'll read them out and we'll put those across the screen. And then later in this video, I'm going to answer, like I promised, I'm going to answer some of the questions you had. You didn't have very many questions, so either I'm preaching to the choir, or you're shy, or I explained myself really well and you didn't need to ask a question. Okay, let's first find a home for these 3 envelopes. So I have 3 signatures. Again, I'm going to try to even it out. This one's smaller, so we'll put it in the middle signature. So let's just start here. And we have pockets. So we have, oh, we also have a belly band. Let's see. I like this color next to the tea dyed, like that. And don't forget that this belly band is a double, so we can come back after and put something in front. So we can come through and put something else there. Maybe something a little bigger than that. Perhaps a tag or something might look really pretty in there. We'll see. Now I'm looking at this and I'm not real fond of that color in there. Now that I see it, I think I like this one better. Yes, I think I do. And then we'll do something like that after. Okay, so that's one envelope. And then skipping through to the center signature. Let's see what we have here. We have this tuck. So we were going to do the small envelope. He's going to get lost in there, so we won't do that. I have something in here already. It's a little tuck spot here. Oh, I didn't glue this one. Goodness, Kathy. I didn't hear you. There we go. And I didn't round the corner either. Let's see if this is going to work this time. Yep. So in my final, I'll probably come back and ink those envelopes. So he's kind of cute there. Oh, I also have this envelope in the front. Oh, I think that's a good spot for that one. Yeah. I think we'll do that. Yes. It's a good spot for you. And then moving on to the third signature for the third envelope. So I have this one here. Okay, we have this double pocket business going here. That covers up too much of that for my liking. An envelope inside an envelope. I also made this into a belly band. Oh, I kind of like that layering there. That's really pretty. I added some of the tracing paper to the journal that I printed on. Well, this is a, oh, wait a minute. Let's see if that'll fit. There's a belly band here. Oh, I kind of like this. Yeah, I think I like that there because this color matches here. I like that. I'm just going to turn it the other way though. Let's see. Just to get that dimension. Yes, that's where you're going to live. Perfect. Okay, so that's the 3 envelopes. Now we made 2 of these banners. So I have 3 signatures. So I'm going to even it out by putting 1 in the front and 1 in the back. So we'll go to the first signature. Now this one slides this way, so we have to put it on this side of the paper. It has something already. This would be good. This is good and sturdy. So just push the smaller part of the paper clip to the back. Probably easier to show you from this side, so that the banner, so just that smaller part of the paper clip is at the back, and then your banner flags are on the front. I like that there very much. Okay, so that's in the first signature. And then let's take the other banner. It's going to slide on this side, but we're going to go to the third signature and probably, let's see. Yeah, I think we'll do that again. We'll use that center scrapbook paper. That's really pretty. That's cute. Okay, so I put it on an angle there, which is cute, but see how it's the smaller portion of the paper clip is at the back and then your banner's at the front. Super cute. Very cute. Okay, these tabs came with the freebie kit. So they would fold like this. And then we can decorate the tab as well. So let's find a good spot for some tabs. So again, tabs is another thing you want to try to even out throughout your journal. So if you're going to do 3 and start your first one towards the top on the first signature somewhere. So that would be pretty even right there. Seem to have more at the front half of the signature than the back half. So let's go to the back half of the signature. I don't want to mess with the layers there. You don't want to mess with that fold out. Well, that's something else you can do. You can put, to indicate that this moves or folds, you can put your tabs there. I could go on this. Don't want to. Maybe right there. Oh, but then it's matching on the sides. Let's not do that. I think I'll just stick to balancing out the purple over here. So let's do, so that's going to be our base. I don't need to ink right to the center because I'm going to let it stick out a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Okay, so there's that tab. Looks great. And then we can decorate that tab a little bit with some ephemera. Like that right there is cute. And then this pink really isn't clashing with anything because it's mostly just two full blank pages in neutral colors, so happy with that. I'm going to put a little brown on top of that pink just to dull it a little bit. A little of my vintage photo. Just don't want anything too bright pink in here. That. And then this one. Let's put it underneath like that. Cute. I like it. Okay, so the next tab, we'll do a different color. Let's do this one. Okay, so that is on the tea dyed paper, second last page in the first signature. So I'm going to do the same thing because we had used a formula. I can easily do this. I'm going to go to the second last page of the center formula, go to that tea dyed sheet again, and look at how pretty that looks there. Love it. Now we're going to go to the center. Now remember, we have a tie closure, comes around the center, so again, I don't want to stick it out too far, but I am going to just eyeball that and go to the center of the journal. And then I'm keeping in with the edge there. It's not sticking out too far. I kind of like that one like itself, by itself. I don't know that I actually want to put anything on it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of cute, like as is. But just hold on. No, I do like that. I'm going to just do a little bit of something small just so I can still see the most of that tab because it's just so cute. So towards the top, bottom, right in the center. And then I'm going to add this cutie pie little butterfly, teeniest, tiniest little butterfly. I usually put a lot of butterflies in my journal, and so far I have not put many in this journal. I think mostly because of there's already butterflies in the printables, but it's the color. I'm really trying to keep to a simple palette here. Okay, that's cute. And then one more tab, please. Okay, and then to balance out the last one, same thing. I'm going to go to the second last page, and it has a pocket there, but that is a-okay. So which one do I want? Quite like this one, but this one matches the best. Okay, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to start, I think, answering questions as well. Like I said, there weren't a whole lot of questions, just more comments, really. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this series. Okay, one of the questions was, do I have live classes to work alongside? That's something I'm considering, offering private classes, that there would be a fee. And you would have to register a spot, and it would probably be a series, and it would probably be done on Zoom. That is my thought on that. As of right now, other than the tutorials, I do the odd live video, just kind of a craft along with me. And I have intentions of doing weekly lives and bulk making some items. And if you didn't want to bulk make items, you could just craft along with whatever you, even if you're crocheting or something, you could just, if you want to just hang out and chat with us. That is coming soon. I'm still trying to figure out things here to get, I don't know if I can commit to a regular schedule or not, just because I'm on call to watch my grandkids, and they're still at an age where sometimes it's, you gotta go quick. So, I can't commit to anything regular at this time. Not at this time. But I can certainly start announcing my lives, where so far I've done lives and I've just popped on, and if you happen to be there, you're live, you are, and if you're not, you're not. But if you want to plan your day around a live, I could certainly start trying to announce those. Somebody asked, where do you see my design team members? So I currently have 3 design team members. One is very busy on YouTube. That's Cindy A. Lewis. I'm going to link all 3 of them below. The next I have is Ricky Tiki Tabby. She does have a YouTube account, but she hasn't done any design team projects on YouTube. She's busy on Instagram, and she took a bit of a hiatus, but I think she's back at it now. And then the other one is Teresa, Vintique Chic, and she is primarily on Instagram. She has a YouTube account, but she hasn't posted to it yet. She's learning, like we all, you know. She'll get there, but she has, she doesn't do tutorials, but she certainly does beautiful work, and she designs beautiful journals with my printables, and you can find her on Instagram. So I also have on my playlists tab, there is a Dream Design Team playlist tab, and you can find any videos that Cindy's done in there. And also I have a guest for August, Faith Art Designs. That's Diane, and she will be, she has a YouTube channel, Faith Art Design Studio, and she will be on YouTube, so I'll be announcing that soon. So she's going to be my guest design team member for August. Oh, okay, another question was, let me see what we have here. I'm going to start pulling out tickets and tags and that sort of thing. Another question was, is it Kathy with a K or a C? It's Kathy with a K. Thanks for asking. All right, starting from the beginning, do you remember I showed you this beautiful vintage envelope, 1948? It has a purple stamp. It's local. It's Canadian ephemera. It had someone's edition here, which I've left. I wasn't going to erase that. It has some lovely aging on it, but it was something sent from New York to Victoria, Ontario, which is close to where I live. So that is going to be the envelope for the inside pocket for Kimberly to put her knickknacks in there. Okay, so we have a double belly band. Let's decide what's going to look really nice in front of that envelope there. Postcard. I don't know if you can hear Ruby today. She's, oh, I like that. That's really cute. I like that. We'll do 2. We'll decide. And I also have this one. Oh, I think I like that better. Okay, let's do that. I have a side tuck here. Now, I don't have to fill every pocket because I should leave some space for Kimberly. This is just a writing spot, a journaling spot. So it's a piece of the printable, folded in half. It can be written on the front. It has lines. I rounded the corners and inked that. So that would be really cute. Now, one thing you can do with your side tucks like that to help hold papers down is you can add something to the edge of it to give it a little bit more holding power for what's behind it. Something like this maybe. Or we could do both. I think I like that. I'm going to just round those corners and add that. Another question I had was when I print my kits, so let's say I'm going to make a journal, this one for example. The question was, do you print most of your pages? I think the premise of her question was, do you print them double-sided? So my printer does have the capability to print double-sided, but that means it pulls the paper through, prints, and spits it out, and pulls back and prints the other way. And I just think that's a lot of movement with the paper rollers on one page. I don't use that feature. I put my papers in. Let me just get this down first while because you know me, get talking and forget what I'm doing and I'll do it wrong. If you can hear Ruby, she's all the way out in the living room, and if you can hear her snoring, sorry. I like how you can see the stamp on the edge of this is from the library, and it's purple. It's beautiful. Okay, I like that. This I added something to. Here's the pockets. I'm gonna add a postcard or something too. I quite like that, and I like that it's got a lot of the lighter beige colors to offset this and break up all of that. We could put something on here. We have these little baby tags. They're so cute. I kind of like this. Let's do this. And let's add a little ribbon to that one. Like this. There we go. Cute. I like it. This could stand to use something in front of it, but I don't want to get too carried away on size here. Yeah, that's actually really nice, isn't it? Okay, let's just put some of these tags. I'm just going to leave as is. I'm not going to put lace or ribbon or punch holes in all of them because they are excellent journaling cards. I think there's a great spot to journal and just leave that nice and flat. So we'll do that. Oh, I did one right there. Isn't that cute? Some pages we're just going to leave as is for journaling. Here's a tuck spot. Let's see. There's a nice tag right there. I think that's a great spot for that tag. Okay, so here we have this writing space here. So my camera cut out. Sorry about that. I ran out of storage space. I had to go through and delete some files. So I'm back. I think we left off. I was just showing you, bless you, Luna. We were just going through this here. So I did add a couple things, and I was filming for 10 minutes before I realized that my camera had stopped. So sorry about that. It seems to happen to me a lot. I really don't like my phone. I have a Google Pixel 8 and I am done with it. I am not happy with it. I would like to go back to an Android phone. I am not an Apple guy. Yeah, that's my feelings about the Google Pixel 8. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Anyways, I was talking about printables, I think, and how do I print them. So if this was my blank paper and I put that into my printer tray, regular 20-pound copy paper, I put that in and then they print out and they're printed on one side, let's say. Let's pretend that's a piece of paper. Then the way my printer works is I put load my printed papers back into my printer tray, top, head first, face up. That's how I remember it. I put them into my printer tray. So let's pretend there's a stack of them there. And then I choose 2 to 4 pages that I'm going to use as back pages. So for example, I will often do a lined page as my back page, or plain. So for example, this was the front of the page and I chose just the plain purple background as the back of the page. And sometimes I choose, there it is again, I chose this one as the back of a page. I would sometimes choose lined, sure, I can't find, right here. I chose that as the back. So there's the front, the first print go around, and then when I put them back into the printer, that's the back. So, and then for the ephemera, of course that is on high quality settings, and I print borderless for my main pages for my signatures. That way my pages are ready to go in my signatures. I don't need to glue anything on the back or ink anything because they've been printed on both sides. Looks like I've got it there. So they've been printed on both sides, so ready to go. And then as for the ephemera pages, I print those separately. I take the borderless option off because it's not necessary. And I use 80 to 90 pound cardstock because my printer will not feed through 100 to 110, 100 maybe, 110 most definitely not. Like thicker cardstock. If I need anything printed on that, I will take it to Staples. But I still do high quality. Another question I had was, or a comment, I guess it was, about the numbers, the dials on our Crocodile Big Bite. So I want to thank Anne Slattery. Anne sent me this, I'm going to put it on the screen. Anne sent me this diagram, or chart, I should say, on our settings for our Crocodile for doing our, setting our eyelets. So thank you, Anne. Everyone say thank you, Anne. So I have that to share with you. She shared it with me, and I'm going to pass that kindness on and share that with you. It's very helpful. So thank you again, Anne. And then I was asked about the art glitter glue. Does it bubble? Because is it water-based? Yes, it's a water-based glue. And I don't find that it bubbles, because I think just because something is water-based doesn't automatically mean it's going to bubble. I think that it's fair to say that it depends on how much glue you are using. So it's not necessarily, it could be operator error and not the glue necessarily. So I think that if we are a little bit cautious when we're using our glue and how much we're using, that could avoid some bubbling. But I don't have any issues with bubbling with my art glitter glue. I'm happy to report. So that I hope that answers your question. Yes, it's water-based, but I think because I use such a thin bead of glue, because that's all you need, because it works so well, I don't have any issues with it bubbling. So okay. Going to do a little bit of inking, nothing over the top. Some of my favorite stamps here. It's really pretty. Where can I get the ruler with all the holes in it? I think I answered that question for you, but if anybody else was curious, it's part of a bookbinding kit by We Are Memory Keepers. It is in my Amazon storefront if you're interested in checking that out. I love that ruler. I rely on it. I've put my own marks on it. Of course, that's this one that we're talking about. That's what I use for my signatures and to poke the holes into my spines when I'm binding. So the black marks are my typical go-to for a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And then the red ones are the center black, and then these red ones here are for a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I actually have it upside down, and I have it marked top so that I use it for the top of the signature and the top of the spine, so that I'm always lined up. I love this thing. I use it all the time. All the time. And then the last question, there really wasn't that many questions. Like I said, either you guys are shy or I'm explaining things really well, so that's good. But even I was kind of expecting, I guess we'll save that for the 5,000K celebration, but you are going to get to ask me questions about me, and I will answer them if they're appropriate. So I have a whole bunch of you to say hello to. I'm just going to run through your names quickly here, but I want to put them all on the screen because I want to say thank you so much again for commenting, watching the videos, for your words of encouragement. So shout out and thanks again for watching to Adriana, Annalie, Annette, Crafty Corey, Deb T, Deborah K, Diana T, Dortea, FONDACD. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that one. Genevieve Long, Jita, HG, Island Girl, Jackie, Carrie, Kimberly, Lisa, Lullaby Moon, Margot T, Margot V, Midori, Nancy, Nina, Ohek, Pam, Pat, Rhonda, Rena, Shannon, Sharon, Sherry Vanderpool and Sherry Mills, Sona Gray, Stephanie, Susie, Tracy, Vivian. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for watching and all your comments and questions. I truly do appreciate that. So I hope you comment below if you have a request for something you'd like me to work on next. One thing I thought we would do is work on some journal toppers. I'm pretty sure that's something I'm going to work on. I've already been researching that. And again, I just wanted to thank you all for, again, just a heartfelt thank you to anybody that watched or shared your thoughts about this Lavender Lane journal and the kit itself. So many of you, you take the time to write a comment, and I really do appreciate that. And I hope to see you again very soon. I'm going to try some live soon, and I think I'm having a hard time signing off today because I just don't want to go. But I do have some work to finish on this journal for Kimberly. And Kimberly, I will be in touch soon. Not too much of a gator. I'll be able to flatten that a bit. I'll put some heavy books on that tonight. I'll be able to flatten that out. But thank you again, everyone. I can't say thank you enough. I know it's probably annoying, but yeah, this was fun. This was great. I quite enjoyed this. Again, purple's not a color I normally work with, but the lavender certainly inspired me. But I do have to go because I do have to cut my grass because we have a humidex warning for Saturday and Sunday this weekend. It's supposed to, with the humidex, it's supposed to feel like it's 40 degrees Celsius, which is just gross. So yeah, I'll be staying indoors. I will be hiding from the world, staying indoors and staying cool. So thanks again for watching. Bye for now. Take care.